second month beginning of ultra run training. I've got plan today is to. I've had a difficult week actually. So first things first, I've got a new puppy into the household. So with my wife returning to work, a 3-year-old and a puppy, which has effectively been like a newborn again. It's been challenging in terms of sleep, rest, logistics, times to get out. So I've only done 2 runs this week, a 9k and a 5k were on Saturday. So really low return in comparison to previous weeks. Such are the challenges of life sometimes, I suppose. The plan today though is to recuperate some of those lost distances, and I'm going to try and run a half marathon today. See how I get on. It's a bit of a leap from 10k's, which is the longest distance, but I thought it might be quite interesting to run it while it's still going to be a challenge as well, and share the kind of feelings of it as I'm running through. So firstly, I thought the video might be quite good to just talk about like how I approach a half marathon, which I've run a fair number of times now at both events and locally as well. So a couple of key things. Definitely what becomes more imperative from my experience is hydration and food. So I've been a little bit more conscious on my intake of foods this morning and last night. I've tried to load quite a bit of carbs into my diet. Specifically, I've had lots more water this morning, so plenty of glasses of water, a couple of bananas for energy as well. So definitely, I think when you start to go longer distances, I've found that towards the latter end of those runs, that's a big difference. So in preparation for the run, half marathon, that's definitely one difference. I'd also say that to take time to plan out your route as well. So and I've done both. I've tried to kind of run and make up a route as I go, which when you're coupling running a distance and it's becoming difficult towards the end and you're not 100% sure on the route, that becomes a real challenge. So take the time, if you're doing it locally and you're creating your own route, really try to map out the kind of distances. It's 21 kilometres or just over 21 kilometres for a half marathon. So yeah, I'll see you on the run today, half marathon, hopefully. We'll see how I'm feeling, and I'll see you there and let you know how I'm progressing as I go through it. Cheers, folks. Okay, so I'm 5 kilometres in, pace is 21 minutes, average pace I think around between 4:10 to 4:20, which isn't too bad. The first part of my route's an incline, so it's actually not too bad a time. And I did that on purpose so that mentally I felt like the second half of the run would be a little bit easier. So yeah, we're going well so far. A big help for me when I'm doing longer runs like half marathons is breaking it down into chunks. What I really struggle with is just having one goal of completing it. I'll just let these cars pass. I think the better option is to break it down into chunks and have small goals. So the first 5k I wanted to be sub 22, the next 5k I want to be sub 23. Let's see how I get on. 5k in, folks, feeling okay. Probably see you at 10k, cheers. Right, so 10k in, and I've ditched the hat, ditched the scarf I was wearing. It was really cold when I started, but I'm feeling the pace now, if I'm honest. So I've just run that 10k in 43 minutes, which is, I can't remember the exact seconds, but I think it's a 10k PB for me ever. Fastest I've done was 44:16, I think. So I'm absolutely buzzing with that, and I didn't expect it because that was more of an incline up there on the first part of the run, whereas now I'm heading down a bit, which brings me on to my next tip, if you like, particularly on longer distances, but it applies to any run. And look, there might be exceptions to this, but inclines, there's no way around it, they're a fucker, right? But what I tend to find is what goes up must come down, and generally speaking it all balances out. So my tip is, don't panic, don't demotivate yourself. If you're going up an incline,
you're blown out, you can get through it. And in most instances it'll balance out, and over the course of a run you'll find periods where you can recover time. So definitely a big tip from me. Right, I'm going really well here. I think the next sort of 4 to 5k is mostly downhill, so I should get a good time. Hopefully I come in at 15k at around, again, 22 minutes ish, and that put me on course for a PB on a half marathon that I got when I was 17. So I'm feeling motivated now. Right folks, see you now. Okay, so I'm now at, hopefully coming up for 19 kilometres. I'm gassed out completely, which is fine. I'm just taking a fairly easy pace in the last couple of kilometres. But really hard going towards the end. It's funny how your mind starts to play tricks on you and take away your focus. I'm nearly there. See you at the end. Alright, so those last couple of kilometres were disgraceful. But an hour and 40 minutes. Felt really mentally weak this morning. It's been a tough week with work, puppy, like I said at the start, 3-year-old, shifts that my wife's worked. But literally as soon as I finished this and as I was going through it, it's just totally cleaned the slate for me, and that to me personally is just the biggest benefit of running and pushing myself, reaching goals no matter how small. It's don't want to sound too deep about it, but it really does make a huge difference. But yeah, happy. I'm really tired actually, my legs really fatigued at the end. I actually had to end the route earlier than expected, and I'm just waiting on Claire coming to pick me up. But yeah, an hour 40, really happy. Overall, enjoyed that, enjoyed going through updates at certain intervals, giving some tips. I suppose the final tip I would leave with for a half marathon or longer distance running would just be to just expect to be uncomfortable at points. It's going to happen. You're going to be uncomfortable at certain times of the run, so yeah, it's worth it. It is worth it. Alright, cheers folk. I thought I'd do something different this week. Half marathon achieved, and yeah, recovery run tomorrow probably, and that'll be it for this week. A couple of weeks and I've got, like I say, a few people joining me coming up, so see you all soon. Thanks again for watching.